welcome to The Right Show with Caroline Sutton, the show where you get to decide who's right. I'm Caroline Sutton, and first I'd like to introduce our partner, Today is America. Today is America has a great Gen Z outreach program teaching young conservatives what it means to be a conservative. In addition to their Gen Z outreach program, they have a merchandise shop. Use the promo code SUTTON, in all caps, SUTTON, for 10% off at checkout. Today is the day we've all been waiting for, November 3rd. Our team will be sharing their election predictions, although it is likely we will wake up tomorrow and still not know who the next president will be. I can say with confidence, I have no idea who's going to win. But let's see what our team has to say.
I definitely think Donald Trump is going to win another 4 years.
I think that Trump's going to win.
It's a pretty straightforward question. I think President Trump's going to win re-election.
I think this is going to be an extremely close election. Not many Republicans or conservatives think that it's going to be close. A lot believe it's going to be a landslide, even bigger than the 2016 election. I, on the other hand, do not think that's the case. So right now, I think it's a 50-50 chance for Donald Trump.
I think that Donald Trump will win.
I might be a little bit biased, but I definitely think that President Trump is going to win a second term. He has so much public support from so many different groups, and I really do think America is waking up.
I did the online 270towin.com thing, and I got 286 for Trump, 235 for Biden.
If Arizona is green right now, the electoral vote will be 269 for Donald Trump and 258 for Joe Biden. If Donald Trump wins Arizona, he wins the election. If Joe Biden ends up winning Arizona, it's a 269 tie.
I think the Electoral College is going to look like 321 Trump and 217 Biden.
I think it's going to be 306 to 219.
Don't mark my words for this because I don't really have any idea, but I'm just going to predict the Electoral College votes as 321 to 262 with Trump winning.
The biggest state upset is going to be Minnesota, and I think they're going to flip red for the first time in a long time.
It's going to come down to one state specifically, and that state is Arizona. Compared to all the other states, I think Arizona is the biggest toss-up state.
Feeling that the state that's going to be the farthest from what the polls predicted is Pennsylvania. They have it as Joe Biden's going to kill Trump in Pennsylvania, but that's what they said in most states whenever Trump went against Hillary. Joe Biden kind of ruined this election for himself in my eyes during the last presidential debate because he finally got wrapped up in his own lies. Maybe Georgia, because the Democrats, I think that Georgia's going to be blue, but I think it's going to be red. And also, I think Maine might be red, maybe not. And then Florida is definitely going to be red.
I think that the biggest upset in this year's election is going to be Minnesota. And Minnesota is a state that hasn't gone red since Richard Nixon in 1972. But after everything that's happened there this year, 6 Democratic mayors have came out and publicly endorsed Trump. And that's very promising.
Definitely enthusiasm. I think Trump has so much more enthusiasm than Joe Biden, and I think that's going to help him on Election Day and carry him over 270 for the win.
I think what's going to win this election for Trump is the silent majority. People are so scared to come out and say, I'm a Trump supporter, because of the insane cancel culture. He has a huge group of supporters. Like, have you seen his Trump rallies? They're huge.
I picked Trump because I believe he is best for the job, our economy, and moral values as a country. Most people don't want universal health care, and we want to keep our freedoms the same.
I think that no matter who loses, the loser is going to try contesting the election just because of so many different factors like mail-in voting this year.
This is going to be a really interesting election because I know we're not going to have the results for a couple weeks after Election Day, but I do think eventually whoever loses is going to concede. They're going to have to.
Not think that the loser of this election is going to be okay with it. First of all, if it's Trump, it was probably because of fraudulent voting, mail-in ballots thrown in ditches that have Trump's name marked on them, and the fact that we send ballots to dead people. If the loser of this election is Biden, which hopefully he is, they're obviously going to try to find some dirt on Trump and try to impeach him like they did this term.
I think that if Biden wins, Trump is going to go down with a fight. I don't necessarily think he's going to concede on election night or within the week of election night. If Donald Trump wins, I think Joe Biden would concede, but the Democratic Party won't concede. Specifically, those in power such as Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer.
I personally believe he wouldn't, nor would the left. I think that they would create a problem and say that there was voter fraud and they want an investigation on it.
I think whoever loses will accept it. The liberals might cry a little bit
because Trump's going to win. But I think he'll accept it. I think Joe Biden will accept it. But the libs, they're going to cry.
Wow, 6 for 6 for Trump. That's encouraging. I'm going to go ahead and play devil's advocate and say that Biden's going to win for 2 reasons. Number 1, it comes down to mail-in voting. A lot of commentators who think Trump is going to win point to the enthusiasm gap between the 2 candidates. A recent NPR poll, that's right, NPR, said that 56% of likely Trump voters reported being very enthusiastic to vote for their candidate, whereas 35% of likely Biden voters reported being very enthusiastic about voting for their candidate. The question you have to ask yourself is, how much does this really matter when you have mail-in voting? How much enthusiasm does it take to send in a self-addressed envelope in the mail versus standing in a polling place for potentially hours to cast your ballot? My point being, the enthusiasm gap is overrated in those states that allow mail-in voting. Secondly, the social pressure on young people to vote has drastically increased since 2016. Social media is filled with reminders to get out and vote. Some ads even warn that your friends and family can go online and see whether or not you voted. Young people report feeling they might be shamed if they don't get out and vote. Thanks to our education system, the media, and other factors, we all know that younger people tend to vote Democrat. These are 2 of the main reasons I think Biden is going to win. We hope you enjoyed this short bonus video. We have an exciting debate coming out next week, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Comment below whether you agree or disagree with what our team members had to say, and what other topics you'd like to see us discuss. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.